Hi guys, it's Borix, and hello, welcome to my channel if you've been here. Welcome back if you've been here before. So guys, I figured I seen a video about root canals and how they don't usually do a good job. So I thought myself I would give you guys a story time on the root canal. It almost took my life. I usually would not do this because I just ate my teeth in it. Huh? I'm looking at tooth. My third molar in on the right side I'm missing. It's amputated, see? It's really hard to see, which I'm fortunate did so far back. So guys, I'm taking back all the way back to 2005. Even before that, guys, I was 13 in 2005. I had to have a emergency root canal done, which I done in stages. I don't understand it was an emergency. I got it out immediately. Anyway, guys, I had problems with my tooth, I want to say since I was about 8 years old. I kept saying, my tooth hurts, my tooth hurts. It was going in vain. Nothing was being done. The dentist said there was nothing. They're x-raying it. There was nothing done. By the time I was 10, I started to say really badly, like it hurts when I chew on the side of my mouth. Dentists, root canals, dentists are looking, there's not a dang thing in my mouth. So the doctors start telling my parents, maybe she's pretending to be in pain. Let me say, guys, both my parents had a critical pain, chronic pain. My mom had a chronic pain, which is a video for another day, because she busted up her legs and almost had to have both her legs amputated from like above the knee down. My father almost had to have one of his legs amputated from the knee down. So my dad was numb in certain sections of his one leg for the remainder of his life at 91. And I think that actually could have led to his fall. But anyway, guys, so both my parents had chronic pain. Both my parents were disabled, mainly my mother or my father. So the doctors told my parents that I was probably acting, and there was nothing wrong with my tooth. Now, when I get this story time about my wrist, they told me it's about my wrist as well. Guys, earlier today, okay, this is all this pains in my head, right? Apparently this pain's all in my head. I'll make a video probably about this right after I'm done doing that. My wrist was hurting me earlier today, but that's in my head, right? So anyway, I've been getting told since I was about 8 that the tooth, guys, by the way, if my lip looks a little funky right here, I dropped my phone on my face the other day in the middle of the night. I went to check the time and dropped it. Oh, one of my friends said, hi, kid. My cat. So anyway, guys, I've been complaining about this tooth my whole life. I had a little cavity. It was ignored. The dentist said there was nothing wrong with it. It was in my head. Blah. So anyway, guys, I am 13 years old by 2005. And I remember this has how I'll do the story because, well, anyway, guys, I have a pregnant cat. By the way, I do actually say that in another video. So anyway, guys, when I was 10 years old, there was a doll I wanted for Christmas. If you guys don't know, I love dolls, stuffed animals, and action figures. I still do. I just don't love them enough as when my dad was alive. I wanted a Ron Weasley action figure. And isn't it, as a 33-year-old grown woman, I'm going to go back in time and slap 10-year-old me for this. I refused to get in that operating table. Refused to go on an operating chair or anything because I didn't have my Ron Weasley doll. Well, guess what happens? My parents get from for Christmas, put Derek's name on whatever on their tree. I get Ron in my hands. And I back out of the surgery. Now, my parents, I don't think there was really any real need to get to the parents. Should have really forced me to have that tooth looked at. I said, I won't have my surgery unless Ron's in my hand. Well, guess what? I got my Ron Weasley. They got me in a chair. I did the Capriati family dance. Pow! I did the Dan Check family dance right out the chair. It's my nickname for doing the dash on the doctors. Dan Check family dance out the chair. And they were like, what? Oh well, so 3 years passed. And what happens? The Narnia dolls come out. I swear this has something to do with the story. They have Narnia dolls in McDonald's. And by this point, I have already developed a huge crush on Skander Canes. In one channel, I already did a whole video crush on him. The other one I did not. I seen this, and I was a doll of him. And I was like, I want him. And I even told my parents, don't give me Peter. Because I overheard my mom saying, well, there's another boy doll. We can paint his hair dark and just tell her it's Edmund in the outfit. Like, we can give her Peter. This paint his hair. I was like, you cannot paint Peter's hair, tell me it's Edmund. You're not going to pee on my back and tell me it's raining. Like 13. Cocky, you little 13-year-old. Anyway. So there's pictures of the dolls online. So I went and printed it out, put it on card because I want this doll so bad, guys. I went through the surgery. And you know what? Nature got me back. Because it was done wrong. The doctor, he didn't mess up this side. The outside of my root was taken out. The inside wasn't. My mom cried the entire time. She cried. First, not at first. I was crunching a picture of the Edmund doll. I have a cardboard in my pocket. I love that doll. I took that picture of him with me. And the dentist at one point had said to me, "You're doing really good." Like, he also said to my parents he didn't want to take care of me because I'm special needs. First off, that's lawsuitable. He told my parents, he told my mother directly that I usually don't take kids with special needs, especially with Borkson's disability. I do not take them. Those brats get in the chair, you put it there, and they pass right out. My mom was like, "So you know you just told me something I can sue you for, right?" He said most kids with diabetes, hypoglycemia. Hypoglycemia is my disability, my special needs. One of many. Anyway, he said that if most kids with autism, they get in that chair and they pass out. My mom said, "Well, I hope you know I can now sue you for saying that you would not treat my special needs child because of their disability." My mom said, "Go in," and my mom thought he was being prejudiced from my naturally autistic and hypoglycemia. I won't touch him, especially those combinations together. He went in and met me and came out, and my mom said he was almost crying. He said, "I gotta help this girl. I gotta help this little girl. I cannot leave her in pain like this." So he met with me. He did the casting for my tooth, did everything we had to do to get prepared for my root canal. The next visit, he actually went to when he thought he was going to actually do tooth canal. Could do it in stages. He thanked me and said, "I think God sent you my way, or Aslan sent you my way." And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "I have a niece with special needs. His nieces have the same disabilities I have." He said, "When my brother told me him and his wife were having a third baby, I said, 'Why? Here's bringing another hypoglycemic autistic into this world.' His brother said, 'You baby, how could you talk that way?' He said, 'Brother, consider me dead.'" He hung up on him. He said he called his brother back, and his brother said, What is your change of heart?" He said, "I have a patient, and she has mild autism and hypoglycemia." And he said, wait a minute. So a patient of yours who's a stranger has the same special needs as your nieces, but you want to accept her, but not your nieces." He said, "Brother, I was wrong." He said, "Well, what did you really call for?" He said, "Me and my wife are having our first baby." He said, "He's in for you, brother. I hope she doesn't have it." We never know what she did. And we're all gradually happy, guys. And surgery started. I felt the drilling into my tooth, which is natural. They give you medicine, but because the doctor didn't know how to numb me, I don't know how to be numb during surgery. I have one dentist who hasn't numbed me in 33 years, and he retired last year. So, dang it. So anyway, the procedure. I have a picture of the Edmund Papazi Narnia doll in my pocket, and I'm squeezing it. Not a picture of all four of the Papazi dolls, but mainly Edmund, and I kept squeezing it. And at the end, I showed a picture of, I had big pockets, apparently. I had a picture of Sprouse twins and a picture of Skander Canes in my pocket. And this is like I do on my walls. Then I picked them, squeezing the pictures, and I was standing there looking, and went and looked at them, And the dentist realized there was something in my pocket I kept squeezing. And the dentist finally said, "Borkson, are you upset? Are you in pain?" I said, I need my dad." And they were like, "Okay, but your dad's not here. Can we call Borkson's dad?" And she's asking for her dad. I was like, "Can I see Daddy? I want to see Daddy." Which, honestly, guys, at 33 years old, I still want to see Daddy. So, it's not really a big of a deal. My dad wasn't there. He was at home. So they brought my mom in, who actually came with her the procedure. And they said, "She's asking for her dad. Something's up." Mom said, "Borkson, are you in pain?" I said, "Mommy, it hurts so bad." So they went back in again. I was starting to slowly show signs. I was in pain, guys. I was in pain. And my mom started crying. I actually had to remove her from my operating room because she was hysterical. And that is because of that, probably didn't do the root canal correctly. So anyway, guys, with the root canal done, I'm still saying I'm in pain years later. Anyway, after the root canal, I still wanted my Edmund doll. It took me a long time to get Edmund, and I was crying one day. So my parents at this point were fed the heck up. Me crying over this McDonald's doll, which is kind of funny looking back on it. So my mom just thought, this is them, because I started ignoring her. So then I started complaining I had a toothache and I had a belly and toothache, which was ignored for hours because my dad was at my childhood home. We had 2 homes, so it was confusing. Oh my god, the house that you guys see me vlogging usually, my house, I was in my childhood home. My dad was there, so my mom did not know. So I was legitimately in pain. I was not crying for Edmund anymore. I was really crying because I was in pain, but which is an honest mistake to make. But on the other hand, ask your kid why they're crying. Anyway, years went on with this pain. Doctors thought I was a faker. They came out and told me I was faking. Guys, at 18, I went to take a bite at lunch. I had a cat from my tooth, guys, and a cat broke off. And I didn't feel it break this up, but that inside my mouth, guys, I was in agony. I screamed bloody murder. As the cat popped my real tooth with it and blood all over me. It's disgusting, guys. So anyway, yada, yada, yada. About 3 years later, I am, Bo Cassidy watching, ha ha ha. Anyway, guys, I gotta take a drink of Pepsi and my tooth hurts. And I'm like, something's wrong. I go to my dad. I started having hallucinations, guys. I won't admit that. The infection in my face was giving me. I had an abscess in my jaw that I popped. I'm playing The Sims, listening to Bo Cassidy music. I just popped it. Don't ever do that. That almost cost me my life later on in the story. Anyway, guys, I hit a point where it was this David Cassidy concert coming in town. I wanted to go. I was too sick to go because I had an infection in my jaw. I had gotten up in the middle of the night, guys. I swear I had a weird nightmare, but it ended up being a blessing of my dead grandmother, who was the second owner of our family home, first owner in the family line. And she yelled at me, and she said to me, "How dare you, first off, leave Rupert right now?" I mean, she said, "If you don't get to the doctor soon, you will be dead. And how dare you leave Rupert like this?" When I left him when I was pushing 80 years old. Eventually, she died the same way my dad did. And she said, I was dreaming, guys. I was half out of it. I was really sick. She said, "You're not even 21 years old and you're leaving Rupert. How dare you? How dare you leave him? You signed a contract to come to Earth to be his caregiver, to hold his hand in his hospital bed on the end of his life. It's you holding his hand. How dare you die before him?" But guys, that's the beauty of it. That's what made me snap in my brain, that I was so sick that I was hallucinating a dream. It wasn't a hallucination, guys. It was a dream. I got out of that bed and started screaming bloody murder. "Help me, Daddy, Daddy, help me." I woke my father up, hysterical, screaming and crying. I dreamt of his mother. "I'm dying. Dad took so many times to get me to a dentist. He finally found one that would accept us and my insurance. Some things weren't covered, so Daddy had to pay out of pocket. He said he didn't care. Just get this out. They look at me, and the dentist says, "Yeah, well, I know it's like his nose is itchy." He said, "I know what's wrong with you." I said, "What?" He said, "The first initial scan doesn't show it. The second scan does." He said, "You have an infection in your jaw, and it's blowing up." Because my face was actually like out to here. My face was really big. It was traveling towards my brain. And they said if I would have waited till Monday like they wanted me to, so on a Friday, I would have been dead. And you said we have to take it out immediately. We have to take out the tooth. It may even affect your jaw. It may even affect, I probably have holes in my jaw from this today, guys. Anyway, guys, the tooth was so badly infected. I asked him about the dreams I was having, and I was dreaming of my mother and my grandmother. He said, "That's normal." He said, "Having those kind of weird dreams is a side effect to that infection." So everything I was feeling, everything I was doing, guys, was a side effect. I swore someone was breaking in my house to kill my elderly father. I was just waiting up with a knife to stab this person. I don't know there. It was all hallucinating. Dude, I hallucinated so much due to pain. Anyway, I called my dad in. They actually didn't want to bring my dad in. I said, "You bring Daddy in right now. I don't want letting you touch me," because I know what the dentist do. It can be weird. They brought Dad in. They explained the situation. They said, "Your daughter is an adult legally, but she's requesting you be here." Usually we would say no, but in her special state, My dad was like, how bad is her injuries? They're like, it's really bad. Like, her face is really messed. I was like, yeah, so I'm trying to tell you guys. Look at her face. So dad came in and held my hand. They were going to try to scrape everything. We just got to take the tooth. Guys, that tooth pulling was so bad. It was worse than a root canal. It was so bad. That's why, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. I believe you should just, when root canal needs to be done, just pull it. It's safer, better in the long run. I don't have my tooth anymore, guys, but guess what? When that tooth came out, I felt so much better. My friends will say I looked healthier, I felt healthier, I had more energy, I was no longer having night terrors. About my dead mother holding her face, going, my tooth hurt. I don't know, my mother had teeth infections, all of her teeth were ground down and put caps on. My mother was a really sick woman. I no longer had night terrors, but my grandmother saying that I left Rupert. How dare you leave Rupert? Dying. I was actually afraid. You guys, I'm going to go to the bathroom and came back to my bed. There's going to be a doppelganger in me in the bed. There's one, I don't know which one's going to be me. Like, I was so messed up. But guys, everyone said I seemed so much better at the operation. I even contemplated suing the dentist who did the original root canal. I don't know who he was at this point, but I even contemplated suing him. Because he did something that could have cost me my life. Could have cost my father his caregiver. My poor father was shooken up. He thought I was going to die. He was like, guys, and I actually wrote sorry letters. I don't think and Carl did in The Walking Dead at the end of his time. I wrote all of my family members letters and telling them how much I loved them. Now they were misspelled and completely jacked up because I was woo. Anyway, guys, I had an allergic reaction to my medication and was sick for months later. March 4th, I woke up and was finally myself. A few days before my birthday. That was my birthday. My 21st birthday present, I couldn't go out drinking. I had an infection in my face. I couldn't go out and partying. I was still recovering, guys. And I had my operation the 5th, I believe, of January. They had the tooth taken out. I wasn't okay to the 5th of March. 2 months later, guys, I was allergic to my medication. They were making me have hallucinations and everything else. They couldn't numb me. It was just all, they had the tooth pulled. They couldn't even numb me. The guy said I was feeling pressure, not pain. I actually thought about suing him as well. He was very ignorant. I was a little flirty with Corey, the oral hygienist. I admit. So, okay, guys, I'm gonna end the story out here. I'm gonna comment, like, share, subscribe. Go and hit that bell for post notifications. Bye, guys.